Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work on table views. It's going to be about making context menus. So when I bring up my process manager here, then we have this nice table that shows all the processes, but there's no way to right click on them to get any kind of menu. As you can see over here, I just get like a fix me, implement context menu event for table rows. And what I would like to happen is that this menu up here would show up. So I could, kill, stop, continue, whatever, like manipulate the process from the context menu. So I thought that's what we would do today. And I haven't looked at this code for a while, so we're gonna have to figure out how to do this, but it shouldn't be too tricky, I would think. So this is where we are with this context menu event. So we have a model and we are not clicking inside the header. Actually, I'll show you what that means. So if your Y position is below a certain number, that means that you are clicking on the table header, which is this thing up here, the name, CPU, state, blah, blah, blah. If you click on these guys, then you get this header context menu that is mentioned here, which allows you to select which column should be visible. I apologize for always having allergy troubles in these videos, by the way. Not much I can do about that. I am taking my antihistamine. Anyway, so let's see. So what do we want to do when we click on one of these? I guess the first thing is that we want to figure out which table item we're clicking on. So we're gonna go and look at the Mousedown event, because here we can probably find some code that finds the relevant item. So if there's no model, then ignore. If it's not the left button, then ignore. If it's below the header height, which means that it's within the header, we don't care about that. So then this is what remains. And then first thing we do is we get the adjusted position, which I think it just converts from widget coordinates to like content coordinates. Maybe there should be a better name for that, but that's currently what it's called. And then we iterate over all of the rows until we find a row rect that contains this position. So I think that's an algorithm that we can use. Maybe we can even separate this out. So we can write something like a gtable view index at position const, and we'll call it const point position, and it's no longer the event position, but should we pass in the adjusted position? I guess we can say index at event position, because then we don't have to worry if the position is in widget or content coordinates. And then we can just say auto index is index at event position. Then we can just skip over that, because this is going to be down here. And we just do that, and we just do that, and starting to look pretty simplified here. And here we want to return model index row column, just this guy right here. I'm going to get rid of that. And then if we don't find, then we return an empty index. And I'm thinking now we have to We can make this a public function actually, because it's probably useful. Or well, since it's dealing with the event position, then it's probably internal actually. But I don't know, we might have to change that later. But let's keep it private for now. This argument to adjusted position, because adjusted position should be const, that's for sure. And I think we can do a safety check here. So if there's no model, then we just return an empty position. Okay, so now we have this guy. And we can use him down here. And position. So now we have an index into the table model, the table data model. I guess we could just try that out real quick by saying like context menu requested for index dd. We can print out some text here, see what's in that index. Index row, index column model data index dot to string dot characters. Okay. Okay. Oh, we should see the debugger output. Okay. Oops. What happened? Is valid index. Oh shit. I guess I would still be calling it even though I was clicking an invalid index. So we should say if no index is not valid, turn. Yeah. So if you're clicking outside the columns, then we'll just ignore this for now. Okay. Now, what do we want to do with this? I guess we want to fire some kind of callback or hook. So table view currently has no hooks of its own, but it's inheriting from GAbstract view. GAbstract view has a few things like on activation, on selection, on model notification. This thing I'm not even really sure what I want to do with that, but on activation and on selection, these are clearly suitable siblings for something like on context menu requested, something like that. On context menu request. That's pretty cool. Okay. And then we can say if on context menu request, then on context menu request with index. Cool. And then what the heck do we do with this? Process table view. Let's go look here. So the process table view is this thing in the process manager app that inherits from the table view. And then probably doesn't need to inherit from GTableView. It was just one of the very first table views that I made, and I wasn't quite sure how the class should work yet. So I had this idea that you would inherit from it and then customize the behavior that way. Then I ended up taking all of that custom behavior and like putting it back into GTableView, and now this thing is just inheriting from GTableView, even though maybe it just doesn't have to, but I'm not going to fret about that in this video, so let's just set up a callback on that thing. And actually, maybe we can do it in the non-inheriting way by setting it up out here instead, because this is the main function for the Process Manager app. And down here is where we create the menus. This is where we create the process menu. And I was thinking that we would create a separate one, kind of like a process context menu, whatever. You never see this text anyway. I don't know why I always bother to put something. And we just want the same exact actions actually. And process context menu, but we're not going to add it to the menu bar actually. And change the name here. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to say process table view on context menu request const g model index let's see. This is going to be a little bit different actually. So, but we'll start with this thing that process context menu pop up at. I guess it would be good if we had the position of the context menu request as well. So let's include that. We'll say like pop up at position. So we'll say gmodel index and const point. That's where on the screen this was requested, and then we can pass that along here. Event screen position. I think that's good. Maybe we can even be extra friendly and give you the whole freaking event. How about that? G context menu event. We'll keep it const so you don't mess with it, but I think that's kind of cool because then you can take the event here and say event.screen position, and we'll pop it up there. So let me just not get a warning about that, and I'll show you what that would be like. So we're not going to be able to use these actions, I think. But give it a minute, we'll see here. So yeah, so now this will just pop up anywhere you click. But if we kill, then it just uses the normal kill action, and since we don't have a selection here, it gets a little complicated. And I'm thinking that when you right click, we should probably make a selection before we fire up the menu, so that like if I right click on finalizer, it would actually select the finalizer before showing me the menu. Because I think now if we do this and then I kill process, yeah, so it just operates on the currently selected item. Anyway, so maybe that's the solution actually, that we would just we can keep these actions here and they can operate on the current selection, but we'll leave it that way. But we just have to actually set a selection when you right click. Okay, so let's see how this is fired in GWidget. So context menu event comes after the Mousedown event. So I'm thinking that we should, in the Mousedown event, we should probably care about right mouse. But, or we can also do it here. If it is select selectable, then we can just do model set selected index. Maybe this is just code that we need to do, really, because then we don't need to mess with the Mousedown event. We can keep all the logic in the context menu event, which I like, because that keeps it in one place. Oh, selection takes a moment to update. We need to actually update after we set selected index. So we'll do that. Make sure that it repaints. All right, click, 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 click. Killed. My launcher is dead because system server needs to wait on launcher. That's a completely different problem. That's pretty cool though. So let's kill the terminal too. Wow. Man, that's really neat. What happens if I kill that? Everything dies except Windows server. Oh, we're still on. Okay. Anyways, that's kind of cool. So let's. I think. I was thinking, should we somehow show this that this is different? But like, I think that this is okay. So let's see what we have. Let's do a patch review. So, in the process manager main area, in the main function, we just create a process context menu. Where did I do that? Here. I don't like these copy ref things. They look so ugly. I want to have less of that. Does it still work like that? Yeah, we're good. Okay. It's just it makes a copy anyway of this thing, so we don't need to do it that way. And because of that, I'm just going to clean this up, since I'm right in the neighborhood anyway. And I was taking that for copy pastes. I'm allowed to do this. Let me just verify that that works. It would be silly if it didn't, but basically, this thing takes the smart pointer here by value, so there's no need to call the explicit copy function on the non-null ref putter. Anyways, it's not important. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, that's so what did we have? Okay, so we make a process context menu. We add these actions to it. And when you get a context menu request on the table view, then actually we ignore the index because we just use whatever index was already selected. But I could see how it would be useful to get the index here. It's just that these actions that we have, they already happen to operate on the selected index, so we don't need to tweak that. But we did verify with the debug output that it is giving us the right index. Okay, and then just making adjusted position const, and then here in the Mousedown event, just factoring out converting a mouse coordinate into a model index so that we can reuse it down here in the context menu event. Okay, so in the context menu event, if you're not hitting the header, then we get the index for the position, and then print out a little helpful info. And then set the selection to that index, repaint, and then if there's a non-context menu request hook, then we call it. Cool. And then here's just the header changes. I think that's good. So let's commit this. Let's see. Let's commit the libgui changes separately. Gtable view. Support per index context menus. Dispatch as an on context menu request hook to GAbstract view, which is then supported by GTableView. Let's say invoked. All right, what is a hook? Is a hook fired? Invoked? I don't know. I don't know. What do you say about a hook? Do you invoke a hook? Fire a hook? Call a hook? If you have a good word, do let me know. Currently only invoked by GTableView. Yeah. It also pass along the entire context menu event so that anyone using the hook can use it for menu placement, etc. Okay, and then we just have the process manager changes. So process manager use add a context show process context menus. Add a process specific context menus to the main table view. Cool. All right, let's push that. And somebody made something, and I merged it, and I got a pull rebase and push that way. Cool. Let's try it out one more time because it's kind of neat. Let me start Paintbrush and Process Manager, and then find where are you, Paintbrush? Right there. I kill you. Yeah, it's really cool. All right. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for coming back and hanging out with me while I hack. And I hope you saw something interesting, and I will see you next time.